It's a project which is very relevant to the context of probably the world, if not the developing nations, because it deals with the crisis of water. Delhi, if you look at it, it's on the banks of the river Yamuna. So technically speaking, you should never be out of water because you're on the banks of a river. But the state of the river is so bad that it's really difficult to think of any water can be consumed from the river. You have communities where you get water probably once a day. You do not have access to running water for the full day. People are dependent upon tankers, and in that aspect, I feel the context of trying to understand how can we look at bringing more clean water accessible to the people is very relevant for the thing. Mary's project is very innovative because she's a product designer, right? And she uses structures which are actually put on top of buildings and they collect water. And within these structures, what she's proposing is if we can have microalgae to, like take root over there, the microalgae actually working with sunlight, it purifies the water, right? The wastewater that's collected. And then through the process, you basically separate out the purified water and you collect it, which can then be reused for a lot of your daily chores, right? So I think that's the interesting part in the whole usage of a natural material like microalgae, which can then be used as biomass eventually. So that's something which is really exciting about the project. She was, of course, in China for her final internships after her final studies in India, and she was very interested to see how it can be adapted even to that country. So, for example, and that's one thing which we also encourage a lot of students is to how can you get your projects to be adapted to different countries, different contexts, right? Because then you have more global impact for your project. So we encourage the students to take that kind of an approach in addressing these problems, what we call social design, right? And I think social design is very deeply rooted in trying to create impact for the society.